This is that once in a lifetime.
So I'm going to be talking a little bit about TJ Hockenson, our number 1 draft pick, our first-round draft pick, number 8 overall. He's really not a bad pick. Not a good pick for the location. I like TJ Hockenson, but with a number 8 overall, you should be choosing an immediate impact player. His hands are very good, as you see with the tape I've got showing right there. He's got great hands. He's got some body catches that are going to be iffy in the NFL, like that one that was just played. That body catch probably not going to be an actual catch in the NFL. All in all, I mean, he's got good hands. He's the right size. He's a little slow, but not too slow. He's 4.7 on the 40, but you can see it off the line. He's a little bit slower than his teammate Noah Fant, who is much quicker in general and off the line. Decent player, but he's a long-term fix. He's a guy that's going to be good in 2 years, probably. That's when his window is finally going to open. There are very few fundamental flaws with him, aside from his blocking, and that's not uncommon for a tight end. You don't expect him to have perfect blocking. You have to teach him how to block much better. We're going to talk about the blocking a little bit later. I got some clips that I want to talk about with that blocking, but right here, there it is, right into the hands. Soft hands. Rifled right into his hands, got it perfect. Didn't like the spot, but, that was a really, really good catch. Held on to it through the entire contact. Bam! That's Noah Fant. Also equally good hands. Everybody rated Hockenson a little bit better because his blocking is a little bit better, but he is not day one NFL perfect blocker. A lot of people are calling this the next coming of Gronkowski. That is factually inaccurate, and you're just setting a kid up for failure. He's not bad. He's not Gronk, though. You can't ever really say he's the next Hall of Famer. It's like when people say he's the next Barry Sanders. You're just setting that kid up for being disappointed, because you can't do that. Very athletic with that jump right there. I mean, this is some quality skills he's got. He's got good tools. He's got good talent. I believe on the Wonderlic he scored 22. For those of you that don't know, 22 is about average intelligence. He's not the smartest guy, and you can see that with some of his blocks where he just makes bad decisions after completing the first block. Here he is, and deep threat. We're not going to see this deep threat tight end in Detroit. It's not who they're going to run him as. They're going to use Hockenson as a dink and dunker, because if they try and put him up against the NFL secondary, he's going to get stopped. I mean, here he is. That's Wisconsin. Just he made a really good play, ill-advised throw. But there's no way that he's going to be able to keep up with defensive backs in the NFL. They're going to have leverage on him all the time. He's going to be really good for the style of offense Patricia wants to run, that dink and dunk, that short yardage gain. I know a lot of fans are going to be very upset when Hockenson's out there and you're only seeing 2 to 5 yards gained each time he catches. That's what they're going to use him as. That's where they want him. That's where they like him. He's not a deep threat tight end. Noah Fant was the deep threat tight end because he's significantly faster and he's just, a little bit smaller of frame. Hockenson's a big boy. I mean, really big. He's almost 6'4", 6'5", something like that. He's friggin' huge. But he's not as fast. His hands are still good. His jump balls in the NFL are not going to look as good as they did in college. Look at that. That's one of those catch in the gut throws that'll be questionable in the NFL. I don't think he'll be able to haul that in realistically in the NFL. Stafford's going to rifle that right at his stomach. It's going to bounce right off. That was a good run. I mean, he adds something to the running game too, for sure. He is going to be a player that Detroit keeps out there for all 3 downs. And it's going to confuse defenses. They're not going to know what to do. Here we go. Here's another good catch from him. And bam, right in the breadbasket. Kind of thrown behind him, quarterback fault, but he pulled it in. And that was one that I don't think he would pull in the NFL if it hit him right there. It'd shoot right through him, because that's what we see in the NFL. In college, you can get away with that. The NFL, not so much. But that's also quarterback ball placement problems, not TJ Hockenson not knowing how to catch problems. Realistically, this is a guy who we have long-term who doesn't really pan out until his 3rd year. He's good. He's got all the qualities you want of a George Kittle clone, but he's not in a position that is immediately ready. I mean, that was a great jump ball, but ooh, that scares the bejeebus out of me watching him fall like that. Big guy like that falling on his frame. I mean, it's a good way to get injured. Especially on that knee. That just hurts looking at it. There's, bam, right in the hands. That was a perfect reception. That was perfect. Caught it, hauled it in, tucked it immediately. That's the kind of great stuff that I want to see from Hockenson. I want to see him get these little dink and dunkers right there. Bam, right in the hands, tucks it immediately. There was no delay, no hesitation. Perfect. The question I have is, with Stafford feeding him the ball, what kind of throws are we going to expect from him? I mean, more than likely it's dink and dunk, because that's how Patricia wants to run the offense. But are we going to see him rifling balls at Hockenson, or are we going to see him throwing more touch passes? I think rifling the ball at him is probably not the smart way to start a rookie. I think a few more touch passes, like a little lob here and there, just to get him some confidence, some yards under his feet, would be great. Bam. See, there's a block that was not a good block. This block is a much better block. His hand location is better. He's got good leverage. But the way he's blocking right here is he's using his size more than anything, and that won't work in the NFL. He's a big guy, and he knows he is, so he just throws his body around at these guys. He doesn't really get his hands in the correct location. He loses leverage quite a few times in some of these blocks, and you're going to see it. He loses leverage, and in the NFL, that's a sack. That's a tackle for loss. He's not the perfect blocker. He's got 2 years where he's going to need to learn how to block NFL defensive ends and linebackers. He's not going to be able to day one be out there blocking, I don't know, Jared Davis or who else would he not be able to block? Well, definitely not Trey Flowers. Let's not even go there. He's going to have a little bit of work to do to really learn that hand location and learn how to work leverage. He's got decent instincts. There's some of these where, see right there, he just didn't have the footwork to push the guy away from the opening. So that's a good block. He pushed him away from where the ball's going. This is going to be a little bit of an uglier one right there. So he's got this, and he's got the leverage, but he just doesn't maintain. He isn't able to work through the block and keep the leverage on the outside of the ball. And this one right here, kind of a not too great block. Dropped it a few times, missed the guy. This one right there. Now this is pretty ideal. It's the blocking you're getting out of a tight end as well. I mean, he's not an offensive tackle. He's not going to have perfect footwork, and he's not going to have perfect hands. He's leaps and bounds ahead of most of the tight ends in the draft. But really, he should have been late second, early third round material. The lack of offensive weapons in this draft pushed him up higher than he should have been. It isn't fair for TJ Hockenson to be the number 8th overall pick. That was setting up way too high of expectations for this guy. Like, he's not number 8th overall quality. The number 8th picks should be somebody who's going to make an immediate impact next year. Should be, as I've said. Having him here in Detroit is good. Long-term, good. Short-term, not too great. High end of the scale, he's going to be George Kittle, or a little bit worse than George Kittle. Low end of the scale, I don't want to say pedigree because that's just an unfair comparison, but that could be very well what he ends up as, just a constantly injured tight end. I don't think so. He hasn't really had any big injury concerns or anything, but that's always a concern when you take a big blocking tight end with a big body. Yeah, I like it. I like the pick. I don't like the location of the pick. There were too many other quality players that could have had an immediate impact on Detroit that should have been taken. This is fine. This is a C. I've seen worse, but I've also seen a lot better. Time will tell.